I have killed that video 3 times now, to the point it did not run at all on Tuesday. And Tyler's like, "Oh, where's the video?" I'm like, "Heifer, we were never supposed to have a video." I won't choose the number green.
This is Wise and Nerdy, where fatherhood meets fandom.
Joe, we need to talk. we need to. I need to understand why I've spent close to a decade trying to build a house with you, and you intentionally make sure that my voice is not on a show, even though I would 100%. The one, maybe 2 times a year that you're off the show, if you made a Wise and Nerdy intro, I would absolutely play it. You and your co-conspirator, Devo Epstein over here.
Whoa.
Sorry, is that too far?
Whoa.
Is that too far?
Whoa. Yes, too far.
No, it's not, because they have conspired to come together and make sure that there's. I'm all for new intros, but give them to me. I'll play some on the normal show. Why do I not get to hear? Oh, everybody missed me.
I didn't even play one of the intros he made last time.
You did.
No, I didn't. I played the Dad Bod Veteran intro last time.
Still not my voice. Still not my. You know what happens? I went up to edit the episode on a different computer, and apparently the last time I edited on that computer, it was when I was gone, and it was full run through, and I think I probably Princess. No, Dana Morgan. Dana.
Oh,
and
man.
That's when you played it, and I'm like, that butt face. And then I heard their voices like, that's.
I
Did he
have
change the
expected
ball
you to
game
pull
on
out the your gavel and declare me the butt face.
That's all I gotta say. I deserve to be recognized on the show. I have made the show the greatest show. I'm going to take credit because nobody's going to give me credit. All right, now enough of that crap.
You sounded a little bit too much like an orange man.
Right, Oompa Loompa, sign the damn bill. All right.
Whoa.
It's that. And look, I warned you,
Ours is a
Joe.
little spicy tonight.
I warned you, Joe. 12-hour turnaround plus an extra 2 hours on the road to and from work. I took a patient to Memphis today. This boy is tired. It's been a long day. So, Joe, I'll step back and let you lead.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, then.
Traitor! How dare you betray me? You know this is my show. I lead. How dare you fall for that trap?
It's the question of the week.
If you were transported into a D&D campaign as your current self, what class do you think you'd actually be? And I already know what you would be. Just saying, but.
All right. Now I know.
You know what? How about we flip it? What class do you think I would be?
You'd be a bard because you dump all your crap into wisdom, and wisdom's a dump stat.
Wisdom, bards are charisma based. You would be the bard. The rock god of podcasting, you would be the bard.
I don't want to go and be rolling for throw a coin to your witcher. No, I want to fight something with someone.
No. So you would be a bard, and you would have this magical, like the giant drumline drums, and you'd have the big old handles, and so you'd be casting your bard spells while smacking the drum, and then you turn around and you'd smack the people with your drumsticks.
Okay,
you know what? Your drumsticks would be little hammers. So your drumsticks, you're drumming with hammers, and then you just whack people upside the head with the hammer.
Now, here's what was wrong with that whole layout, but only on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch where you can see the videos. The motion Joe used for drums was not a drumming motion. It was a universal you're fat motion, or you've got a really big baby motion. And Joe just fat shamed me in D&D talk. So that was amazing.
You know
so great.
The giant drumline drums that they have on their
That's a bass drum, but also
yes,
you did it again. Nobody says this is a bass drum. Everyone says, "Oh, you know that guy? Hey, you know that lady? That's saying they got a nice personality." That's what that hand signal's saying. All right.
Oh,
hello,
man.
Rebecca. So I don't know. Rebecca. Oh yeah, I do know who that is. Yeah. Wait, no, he didn't. Yes, he did. You stop it. Don't think up for. I'm not that super familiar
Devo
with
says
classes.
you'd be drumming with your gavel.
I would take the snare drum core line, not the big bass drum, and then you stab people with your sticks because you splintered them off. You would be either a boring paladin.
Wow. Okay.
Or, I mean, paladins are boring. They're just righteous, and I know, Devo. I said, I know. I figured out who she was, Devo. First, you make music that stabs me in the back. Now you take Joe's side on everything. I would hope you would not be a paladin. I would hope you would, because that's not who you truly are, but that's who I think you choose to try to be. I think who you truly would be would, I hadn't lost. Give me a second. I'm getting there. I think you would be a wizard.
Okay.
But with like trickster Loki kind of energy, just that, like how you tell your bad dad joke. That's how you would incant your spells. You're like, what do you call a fish with no eyes? And you have that Loki look in your face, and you go, fireball, heifer. That's So. That's. I'm not super familiar with the classes, but I think that's where you'd land.
So,
I always imagine Bard as some weakling hanging in the back with a lute, not the lute, but lute.
There's a spell called Tasha's Hideous Laughter.
Okay.
That either a bard, a warlock, or a wizard could have, and there's a bunch of other subclasses that could have it, like an Eldritch Knight, but. The way you said that, my Tasha's Hideous Laughter would be me telling bad dad jokes.
Yeah. Oh, and I'm not a Bumblebee, thank you. I'm wearing my official Dragon Con Bumblebee shirt. Thank you. That's from earlier. Yeah, everybody always likes to pick a barbarian for me, but I don't like barbarian in D&D settings. In some game settings, sure, but I need somebody who knows both D&D and Borderlands to tell me what the newest class of Siren would translate to. Because I don't play Sirens in the other game, but in this particular, in the newest one, the Siren too. So she's summoning probably a wizard, I guess, because she's summoning a astral tiger, kind of. It's an animal in their universe. Basically, it's kind of like a tiger, and I can make it attack people, and that's just my jam. It's so much fun to sick the big kitty on people.
So there is a version of Ranger where you can have an animal companion.
Okay. So I like that. I like kind of falling back, sniping some. But if I'm in the midst of a battle, being able to survive, but I like to be smarter about things. So did we get any calls on those answers?
No, but if you want to get your voice on the show, you can head on over to wiseandnerdy.com/calldad and leave us a speak pipe.
Now, before we move on, we do have to talk about some things in all seriousness. On the Patreon, I get angry at Spotify. So thank you to
Very
KCJ.
angry.
Yeah, KCJ pointed out in our Discord that we were missing some episodes, and I already known about one or two because I was trying to fight them on it, because basically our shows are being taken down on Spotify, who hosts this podcast, and they are being deleted with very little to short notice if any notice at all, because of copyright infringement. And it's 4 times now. 4
No,
episodes.
I was copyright infringement.
You're air bunnying. Got it. I thought you were saying 2. Yeah, the air bunnies.
Copyright infringement.
Yeah. And when you say air bunnies, because it's 100% royalty-free music that we sought out. I put in a lot of work trying to vet this stuff, listen to the vibe, make sure it fits our show, double check the legalities of it all. And I think I talked a little bit about how it's on Patreon, the full story there. But basically, I'm trying to fight it with Spotify, and I had to send them screenshots. He's like, okay, give us your license, and we'll be fine with it. I'm like, it's unlicensable music. It's literally royalty-free, non-licensed music. And I sent screenshots where I circled that on the creators' pages, because at that time it was 2 different creators. Since then, they deleted 2 more, just poof. So this week, if you're missing episodes, if you went, I know I didn't get to hear XYZ, they are in the podcast feed now. I went in, pulled them from YouTube, so the quality is not as good as straight recording, but in the time that I had, it was the best I could do, because I do have all the raw recordings. The searching for it is going to be difficult. So YouTube was good enough. I cut out the music part, so you'll hear it kind of go in a commercial break, but you'll lose. Some of it won't make sense because I just smash cut the music out of it. But you get the show. The commercial break is not the most important part of the show. And I told you I wanted to cut the commercial breaks right now until we get a new host. Because to me, the music is part of the fun. We started doing, daddy devotions and breathing in and cut that grass and, all that fun stuff. And it's important to me. And Spotify is being a real huge butt face about it. So we're looking for a new host, and we'll be bringing the music back soon. And if you were missing episodes, they're there. And if any more go missing, please let us know, because we don't always get the emails.
Clearly, we're going to have to start playing stuff like this.
That's
Once was a lad, his name was Joe.
Devo was talking about
a podcast show.
Yeah, shun the butt face. Yeah, absolutely. Devo actually on Be Awesome Together was talking about even wait till I get copyrighted on my own music. How that's gonna be weird to explain. But then Dead Baby Turtle has betrayed me.
Oh no!
Dead Baby Turtle was my safe space to talk all things Aussie and to share American stuff and just to have fun. And that fool hit me with some dad joke TikToks. And I feel so betrayed, sir. So betrayed.
Got him. Good on you.
Roll the dice.
Well, it is a country of criminals.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
All right. Speaking of dad jokes, you can either go to the commercial break or dad jokes. So we're going to go to dad jokes.
Yes.
Dad jokes are like Mojo Jojo. They're bad.
And we do have a dad joke from Devo, who was in the chat with his lovely wife.
Sorry. No. Okay. Sorry. Let me tell you why I said crap.
Oh, no.
I should have held it back. Crap on Devo. No.
No, thank you.
I was inspired by Devo, and I got my son the other day to record a bad dad joke. Like I asked him for one. Basically, I did some car segments like Devo did with his kid.
Okay.
They don't sound as good because it was just kind of on the fly. His are definitely sounding better. And I was trying to get them to you for last week's show, so I got them as far as being transferred to my laptop. But because I'm very, very picky about how it sounds, I want to go in and refresh it, and I keep forgetting to just clean it up. So I have some kid ambush segments to play, and you, Devo, inspired that. So sorry. Not crap on Devo, crap that I still am dropping the ball.
Okay. Well, now to show Devo.
So, Beck, why did the smartphone need glasses?
Don't repeat it. You're just buying
Because
time.
it lost its contacts.
His laugh.
Why don't you hit me with another one?
Okay, all right. Why do operating systems and bike riders have in common?
They'll have one nut.
They're both down for a good ride.
No, they both worry about drivers, and they can both be crashed by a bad driver.
You, why would you ask for a second one?
Get this stuff.
Oh, this is comedy gold here. All right. Why was the computer tired when it got home?
Stop.
It was ready to crash.
No, well, that's a pretty good one though, because it had a hard drive.
Oh, that was my favorite. Good job. Good job.
Excellent.
That's right. Both corners of my mouth are rising upward.
Well, here, I got one more for you.
No, why?
I took a trip to the U.S. Capitol, and while there, I went to a garden. A bee landed next to me. I nodded to it and said, "That is a USB."
Wow. Electric, baby.
All right, there you go.
You know, the caliber of audience that we attract makes me question my life choices. I'm just saying.
I like Devo.
Did you want to share the story from Conjuration that you were telling me?
Which one?
That you had just read online that like 80%, 70% of animal lovers let their pet sleep in the bed with them, but when you tried it, you killed your goldfish. See, that's not a bad dad joke. That's a bad story I told on somebody else.
Now, did you hear about the new druid spell that they're putting in Baldur's Gate 3?
We've already done 4. We've already done 4.
But did you hear about the new druid spell they're putting in Baldur's Gate 3?
I'll be backstage for that.
It's called Stun Seed, and it stuns the player for 1 second when read backwards.
Your face is killing me. You're
Did you read it backwards?
All I don't have to. My mind does dyslexia on its own, buddy. I figured it out before you even said it. But when we did Fandom Face Off, all comedy is based in truth, and I said I hate Joe with every ounce of my being, and it got a decent laugh, but it's a little true sometimes. It's a little true. Random kid. Can we roll something?
We were on a roll.
Something else may be helpful.
It's another 6. You want to do some more bad dad jokes?
It's a 2, sir.
Daddy, you tell me a story.
All right, Jebby, what do we got tonight?
Speaking of conventions, because you were just talking about Conjuration, Daddy, tell me a story about a convention moment that made you realize these are my people.
Do you have one in mind? I'm gonna think on some. Do you have one already geared up?
Just walking around in general. So my first convention was my first big convention was Gen Con.
Because you went to play Bakugan.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yu-Gi-Oh, thank you.
Yeah. And so my main focus there was the gaming hall, because I went there and I was walking around, sat down, pulled out some cards, and people would just walk up. So I was there for the whole weekend, and people just walk up, "Hey, you want to play? Hey, you want to play?" And I was like, yeah, these are my people, because that's what I was there for. That's what I wanted to do. And it was a ton of fun. I didn't go to any panels or anything like that. I walked the vendor hall very briefly, and yeah, I had a have you ever watched Big Bang Theory?
Yeah.
Had a bit of a Big Bang Theory moment, because Sean Astin was supposed to be there, and he ducked out at the last minute, and I was like, Astin. But no, yeah, it was a ton of fun. And it was a great experience.
I like that. You know, honestly, I've got 2, because no matter what you do as a performer, as a creator, as a anything else there that interacts with people in the public, podcast or whatever, you're never quite sure how things work. And there's times when the audiences aren't quite there. So the first one would be I went to like New Media Expo, which was kind of a mix of Dragon Con and business conventions for podcasting. And it was just cool talking to other people who are into podcasting and those kind of things. But it was like, take it or leave it for me. But I got them to pay for me to go to Dragon Con. And that's the first time I ever went to Dragon Con. That was the moment. I went to the podcasting room, and on the table, I don't remember every name because only some of them are memorable, and some of the other people haven't come back. But on the table was Brian Ibbett, who I'd met previously that year for the first time at New Media Expo when he was getting another award for Coverville. Brian Brushwood, who does Night Attack and Rogue something. Scam School is what he does. Hey, Lost Slimy, welcome in. Good to see you. It had Mark Gunn on it with a few other people, and I did not know Mark Gunn then, but I've told the story and I'll tell it again here. This is how I knew it was my people. Is I asked a question from the back of the room because the kickoff was a full room, and I asked a question from the back of the room. It happened to be during the Adam Carolla lawsuit. He was being sued by somebody who owned the word podcast and this and that and the other. So I asked about that and got some interesting answers. But I made a mark, asked a different and interesting question. But I introduced myself like I always do. And at the time, my show was Success Freaks. I went, Charles McFall, host of Success Freaks. And I think and then I asked my question. When I answered it, Mark Gunn goes, Success Freaks? Is that Ricky, our morning Mon, Ricky Robinson? I'm like, yeah. He goes, I'm Mark Gunn. I'm like, I can see your tag. He's like, no, I'm like the guy he talked to about the podcast. Because originally it wasn't called Success Freaks. It was called The Other Side of Live. And we did a section at the end called Success Freaks. And Mark, doing the Irish and Celtic Music podcast, Ricky was asking, they were working the same Renaissance Festival at the time. And so he's talking to Mark about podcasting, and Mark's like, why don't y'all just call it Success Freaks? That's your best segment. Why don't you just do that? And that did change my trajectory. So Mark is a bit responsible for the monster that I am today. But that was the moment. It's like at that table, three out of the five people had already knew me. One was without my knowledge, was very involved in my career already. And then that year, Ibbett and I became partners and built some shows coming out of that year. And then I ran around just asking people, like Tom Merritt asked some questions and other people. And just watching the panels, that's when I was like, oh, I need to start getting into the con world because this is really cool. The second one is just this weekend at Conjuration. This is what I was talking about when you start something new, you're not sure how it's going to be received. I was actually a little nervous to bring it to Dragon Con last year, Fandom Face Off, because I've been practicing it in smaller cons around, and Rob Roberts really helped me refine it after Southern Fried last year. And so we took the new form to Dragon Con, and it killed. And that was fun.
Oh, yeah, that room was packed.
101 players. The room was packed. The energy was on point. Phil and...
Jenna?
No, it wasn't Jenna.
Oh, no.
Jenna's
Alex.
Alex P. Yeah, thank you. Alex P. Alex and Birds. They did a great job knowing me, knowing the room, working the jokes quickly. But it was that Conjuration that were there, and I got the crowd I thought I would get there. There was 4 or 5 people there. 2 of them being Tyra and Shane, right? But I just focused on building the show. And this is where I went, okay, cons are definitely my people. This game show is definitely something I should be doing. Because I just focused on putting the show on and not what I think the audience wants or anything else. Just did a little, here's a quick way to do it. Here's the setup. Here's the trolls. And you all both were really funny trolls. And at the end of it, got asked excitedly, do you take this to other conventions? Which I'd been asked before once or twice, but not in the way it was asked here.
Not with the enthusiasm that it was asked.
Like when I'm like, yeah, it's going to be at Stellar Fest. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, we came to Stellar. We're going to go to Stellar Fest. Southern Fried Gaming. And when I said Dragon Con, they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah. Like, we missed that. Like, well, And then they turned around because I was giving them house points and whatever, and then turned around to come back to the table and like, what's your podcast? And I was like, oh yeah, Wise and Nerdy. Scan the QR code. I had my QR code jersey on that day. But that's it. It's there. Look, there's a weirdness to conventions and the people who go to conventions, without a doubt. Everybody goes for their own reasons. But that's what makes it perfect for me, is I can go for the reason of working and performing and connecting, and it's my people. So how is it for you?
Yeah, no, there is an energy at conventions that you just don't have other places. And regardless of what your niche is, you will find like-minded people, which you may not find in your normal day-to-day life. And they conveniently tell you, hey, this is where you'll find your niche by, having different panels of different subjects. And so, yeah, you go to these conventions and you end up in a room where people can just nerd out about what you want to nerd out about. And it's fun.
Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah. It's man, I'm losing it now. What was your first big panel that you went to?
First big panel that
like
I went
something
to?
Maybe the room was full of, maybe you got in line because you're excited. You really wanted to make sure you saw whatever that panel was about.
There were a couple of panels that first year that I went to where I got in line an hour ahead of time, because any more than that, and they were like, yeah, no, you can't line up yet, which makes sense because that's
sometimes
how the
they'll
rooms
let
work.
you do a little bit more, but yeah, it's whatever. Sorry.
But yeah. But those panels, I that first year, I was like, I was wanting to see, the big celebrities and things like that. And I've just found that in general, that's not what I like the best at cons. So I've gone to some of the bigger panels, but only if I know that I can get in relatively easily, like because it's on our track or things like that, or I'll show up when they're letting in, and if there's room, there's room. If there's not, there's not. And so I don't waste time sitting in lines at the con, because I don't want the con to be lines.
And some people do, right?
Yeah.
In my first experience, I like that I've gotten to experience a lot of the different ways cons come around. But at Dragon Con, I went and got in line for Arrow.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Arrowverse.
Yeah. It was actually Steve Amell was there, and then Robbie Amell came out. He had just
his brother
left Legends of Tomorrow. Well, it wasn't planned that way. I don't think Steven even knew he was coming. I think Robbie just decided to crash the panel because it was just a Q&A with Stephen Amell. And they told stories that you don't get to hear otherwise, right? And that was fun. I was like, okay, I kind of get it, because I've seen videos of the standard questions. What do you think about shooting this episode? Don't care. But to hear Stephen Amell, who at that point was at the end of season 3, they're about to debut season 4, I think it was. So he's just really, he's established, and he's this really strong character and all this other, to talk about how nervous he was to get the call and how he's sitting on the stairs, and Robbie was there with him when he got the call, and they're acting like, little school kids excited. To see that was fun. And then at the end of that panel, they launched for the first time, it hadn't even been put out on the internet yet, they launched the trailer to season 4. So you got a sneak peek. So I got to experience that kind of excitement, and the crowd went nuts, right? I don't remember anything about the season or the trailer. It was just a cool moment. And that also was the same year that Stargate was doing its last hurrah. It was 10 years after they had ended the season. So they did 10 seasons. And then for 10 years, they had toured cons talking about it. And they, as a group, I mean, they'll still come and do some things separately, but as a group, they went, yeah, we're not touring on Stargate anymore. And we really got some really unhinged and fun stories and moments. And that's what I live for, is to hear those, but to really be a part of those. Registers for me more.
See, one of my favorite bigger celebrity panels was a Smallville panel I went to, and they had Tom Welling and they had Michael Rosenbaum up there and a few others. Tom was super reserved and really didn't talk unless asked a specific question, but Michael, he was in his element. Like when
he hosts his own podcast. Like he is a good host.
But yeah, when he first started walking up, he's like, yeah, this isn't gonna work. Give me a wireless microphone ASAP. And so he took that wireless mic and he used it to all of its benefit. He did not stay seated at all.
Nice.
He was running around. He was like right up next to the people asking questions in line and talking to them, interacting with them right next to them. There was one point where this person in a wheelchair raised their hand to be brought a wireless mic, and Michael went over and sat in her lap and held the microphone up to her, and just he worked that room so good, and he had so much charisma. But then I've been on panels where they were clearly hungover and didn't want to be there, and those ones are like, really?
Look, man,
really?
We have to do the wrap-up panel every year, even though I'm hungover and don't want to be there.
No, I'm talking about a big celebrity, and I'm not gonna.
I know.
There's
I couldn't even guess because there's a number of those stories.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah. But I think it was her first time at Dragon Con, and she definitely partied too hard the night before because she was very hungover. And to make it worse, so you can kind of get away with that if there's an ensemble panel, but she was by herself with the moderator.
Oof.
And so stuff like that, you're just like, nope.
Choices, man.
Nope.
I honestly, right now, hardly remember my own names. I don't remember the two actors that did this, but we believe, as the story goes, I was not part of it, did not see it, but as the story goes, we believe they had not gone to bed before they came to their like 11 a.m., 12 p.m. panel or something about. So they'd been up drinking, and they were. It was a little obvious, and it was an experience. It's not a story that's told as a they'll never be back kind of story, but it's a story that's told to moderator training. Going, you still have to corral that, and you still have to manage that, and make sure that they still look good, even though it's obvious they've been out partying all night.
But there's only so much moderator can do when they come with zero energy.
No, you're right. But yeah, honestly, go ahead and roll the dice. I think not all cons are for all people, but the ones that we go to that we agree on. There's one that might be on the cutting block this year we've talked about, and we don't want to misalign anybody. Whatever. We don't want to say bad crap about people because it's not their fault. But there's just ones that click and ones that don't. And, we were pulling 7, 8 people per panel most of the time, sometimes a lot less in the case of 1 or 2 panels you were on. But I always get inspired by something at the cozy cons. And I always get inspired by something at the corporate cons. And Dragon Con's just magic. It is the Disneyland of cons.
Yeah. I don't care for a lot of corporate cons. So, but I get why some people like them. It's just that's not my my jam.
And for those of you who don't know, corporate con is Atlanta Comic Con. There's going to be a slew, I mean double digits of celebrities, and the whole vendor hall, 3/4 of that is celebrities, and the other quarter is people just selling stuff.
Well, and when the vendor hall is the primary focus, because you're talking Atlanta Comic Con.
I mean, that's a corporate con, yeah.
The panels were an afterthought.
Absolutely, but
other than the celebrity panels. The celebrity panels weren't as much of an afterthought, but all of the rest of them were an afterthought.
Yeah, and they've really gotten much better about aligning with panels and panelists and letting upstarts, as they see us, right? We've not made a name in Celebrityville yet, so but they let us come and do things, and it's gotten better. So I always give Atlanta Comic Con and FanX credit for working that, but that's what they know. They know that they'll pull in a crowd and make money by selling Katie Sackhoff photos and autographs, and they had a ton of. But we were excited. We walked around and saw a whole bunch of booths and talked about how cool some of that stuff was. But I do get ideas, and it's I would never pay to go to one of these things. And I love Supernatural, and they have their own convention.
Yeah,
and I just can't make myself pay to go to it because I don't like fanboying out on people. I like going, I love your work, and here's why. And then follow up, can we work together? And that's really not what an attendee is meant for.
Yeah.
So what'd you roll?
We rolled a 1.
What are you nerding about?
I am nerding about.
I swear it is on a randomizer, but I think that one is.
What are you nerding out
I
about?
swear.
I think that
don't-
first one's
don't-
come up a bunch.
Yeah, because Jeb's the best. We all know it. We all know it. He's winning
And he
Kid of the
knows
Year
it.
2025. Brought to you by Jeb. All right, mine's actually kind of quick, so I'll do mine, then we'll do yours. We did at Conjuration. We played the Cryptid Capture Core, I think is what it is. It was I lost
Tales by
her name.
Bob. Oh.
I know that. It's Bob, you, Ben, me, and I know her name. We're for Hollis.
Yeah, Hollis.
And this is one that Bob wrote, and it's a short book. It's not says Bob says betrayal. Copyright. You didn't get to the office before I did, sir. Ha ha.
Ha I don't even know if you can buy these ones on his website, to be honest.
I know you can buy them at his booth.
Yeah.
At cons, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if he ships them or how that works. But he wrote it's a little booklet as opposed to a one-sheeter, which we'll talk about in a second. But it's not D&D 5th edition, right? It's not a bajillion rules. It's simplified. Here's the universe. Here's the ideas. Go forth and have fun with people. And I struggle figuring that out on my own, so I really enjoy doing that with friends. And you drove me nuts with your jerky, man. You were such an old man. You played such an old man so well on that one. And we only had 45 minutes, so we didn't really, any of us get to do a whole lot. But we had fun with each other, and it was such a blast. And I think it was that night even I said to Bob, I was like, hey, let's bring this to Wise and Nerdy. Let's because we always try to find something fun to do with our listeners. And we've watched Batman Mask of the Phantasm. We've done, I think, a hangout before. But this would be something that you could come and participate with us easily and watch it for free if you didn't want to participate. And so Bob was down. He's like, yeah, man, we'll do that. It's a really easy pick up and play kind of thing. And it's just about having fun and being a little nuts. Then the next night.
And I did find it on his website, finally, on his other website. So instead of Tales by Bob, it's on beardedbardinkworks.com, and they've got a store there. So it's beardedbardinkworks.com/page. And the one we played, actually, most of them are $3 or free. So they're relatively cheap. But yeah, that was a bunch of fun and just kind of hamming it up and right. He got his jerky. He
did, and you got knocked out. That's hilarious. It's your obsession with things is so funny, and you just triggered something. You're like, oh, I'm getting jerky, and you kept trying to give everybody jerky as you went through, and that kind of moment though, it really does lend to humor because somebody else might have been trying to figure out something serious, and you're like, and jerky.
Well, because going into these one shots, especially where you're performing on a panel, I try to find some kind of a shtick to to ham
Yeah,
up.
we all try to find that hook that you're
Yep.
just your character's going to do it. Yeah.
And so I went with jerky.
I did not have enough time, nor did I pick wisely on my character because I didn't read my character. I saw sarcastic physicist or something like that. Like, done. I can be sarcastic. And I picked a female character that's from a Navajo Indian tribe whose grandfather was a shaman, but she's kind of left those ways behind. And then it was like, "And Charles, what's your character?" I'm like, "I do declare." And Ben lost it. He was like, he looked right at Bob. He didn't even look at me. He looked at Bob. And went, "That's what you get for not filtering what he gets to pick to play." And honestly, I felt like I was the weakest character of all of us, but it was fun for everybody. It was fun for all of us to have that. So we go into the next night. I don't believe Bob created this one.
No, this is a generic one.
So this is what's called a one-pager. Hugh is huge on those. With these one-pagers, that it's all the instructions you need are literally on one page. And when we drove 4 hours to Savannah and 4 hours back the next day, we spent maybe the first 30 minutes talking, and then he got out his clipboard and we played. He would roll the dice. He'd do everything while I was driving. And it's great entertainment. He's got one that's golf. Literally, you can be Happy Gilmore as a character, and he's got stats. It's a lot. But my name is, or no, everybody's John. Was basically Bob is the universe creator, so he's guiding John. But you were a personality of John. I was a personality of John, and Ben was. And the rules were you had to write down 2 skills you had. No cheating later. Oh no, I had the skill. You write them down, and then an obsession. And that's the goal of the game. Now, Joe, you and I have not played. We've created. We have danced with the devil in the pale moonlight. But we have not played a game very often together, except for like Dominion, right? You taught me Dominion. And I'm super competitive when it comes to these things. Like, I really want to win. So when I found out you have to get your obsession to happen, and I kept asking leading questions like, okay, so do I have to be in control of John? So we're personalities. So Joe bid his point first. I know they were dice. They just represented points. So he bid a point. Me and Ben were like, we're just figuring this out. You go.
Now,
and
Ben and I, we each picked something that we thought would lend well to funny moments.
Yes, you
very much picked something, I'm going to win this.
100%. So, and we'll get to that in a second. So Joe goes first, and Bob you said it best, Joe. Bob really, really pulled the audience in, all 4 people that were in the audience, and got them to interact well. And so they decided we're going to wake up in a dumpster that's on fire with a possum, and then Joe had to go, and so he had to figure this out and that out, and you have to roll to do something. And I won't go into all the details because the fun was, oh, okay, I got my hook. I know my hook on this one. And because if you pick an easy thing, an example that Bob gave was he led one of these games and somebody had their obsession was to be looked at weirdly or quizzically.
Questioningly.
Quizzically. So every time that he would say something just way off the wall and Bob was like, what? He'd mark down a point. That's when I got it. My obsession was to hear myself speak.
It's very on brand.
Yeah, well, of course it is. As was my skills, radioactive electric charisma, and the one I didn't get to use because it didn't come up, turning chaos into productivity. And so I asked Bob, it's like, well, do you want to get points if you're in control of John? It's like, no, it's also a real world situation. So if you get it to happen in this room, it works. Now, you and Ben picked something that was like level 2. Now, level 2 will be whatever points you got as you achieved it times 2. And yours was to get...
So I fed into ChatGPT. I said, what do you know about everyone is John? And it knew what it was. And then I said, okay, give me 2 skills and an obsession, but make it themed around rednecks in the backwoods. And so it gave me improvised critter handling as one of my skills. So since I went first, I immediately took the possum with us.
Immediately, yes, you did.
And my second one was backwoods engineering. Basically, my guy is the MacGyver of the backwoods, and or my personality rather.
Sure.
And but my obsession was collecting the perfect roadkill trophy. And
which
so,
I did not figure out.
And
so the
my,
signs were there.
My thought was the audience didn't specify whether the possum was alive or not. And so I'm like, there's a chance this possum's dead. I'm taking it with us. It ended up being alive, and it stayed alive. And
despite your efforts.
Despite my efforts. And Charles created a cult that worshipped the possum. And
kind of.
Yes. And you converted a priest to your cult. It was chaos. And like you said, Bob did an amazing job of getting the audience to interact, because every time we as John would turn, he would turn to the audience and be like, okay, what do they see?
Yeah.
And so
we got some really random stuff thrown at us.
Yes, we did. And so there was some very odd things that were connected to this alleyway that we started in, but the audience was loving it. I had people come up to us the next day and tell us how much they loved Everyone is John. And so, it was a blast.
So I was using my little notepad on my phone to mark down basically anytime that I got acknowledged for something I said. And I don't mean asking the rules or anything, but the jokes, the interruptions. If I got the audience to laugh, or I got Bob off his game, or either one of you guys, I was marking down points. Except I was marking it. I started with like capital I's, like Roman numerals, and then of course it just went to lowercase i's, like whatever. I just kept hitting it. And then at some point I'm like, I'm never gonna be able to count this because it's all smushed together. So I'm like, I don't know how to separate them. Didn't matter. You didn't get yours. Ben didn't get his. But so when it came down to it, Ben revealed his first, which was getting the cops called on other people, which is funny because I'm like, what is your obsession with the police? Not actually putting together. He had an obsession with the police. Yours was the backwoods critter thing. And I went, Bob, what do you think mine was? He goes, to start a cult? I'm like, no, that just naturally happens with me. That's why I'm a great podcaster. Because there was no intention. There was no intention to start a cult. Somebody at the beginning of the game, when we said something about the possum, somebody said something that was not this, and my brain went, Possum Christ? Did you say Possum Christ? And I said that, and Bob chuckled and went, all right, that's my hook. I am going to be crazy and make this possum cry. Yeah, but you're crazy, right? You're insane. You.
I have never heard a moderator of a panel say we're going to hell as many times as Bob did.
But I think Bob got a little uncomfortable because the other thing I did was
he got very uncomfortable.
Yeah, but because the other thing I did was see, that's beauty with Bob. Bob can roll. Bob can take the punches, and he knows the audience. I was like, I'm so used to Dragon Con having very clear rules of adult times after 10. Before that, it's family friendly, PG-13, whatever. This con does not have that rule. And now we're not people that during the daytime are going to go crazy.
They have an unsaid expectation, but yes, they do not have that hard rule.
But there were times like I was on a panel. No, I was listening to Chris, who runs, that's his con, and he would say nothing offensive, but something that you probably wouldn't say during the daytime at Dragon Con on my track. It's kind of deal, right? It make the audience different audience, right? And so I was like, well, you know what? Let's see if I can get kicked out. Let's see if I can get sat down by Regina and Chris and Angela and be like, all right, Charles, we had a report. So I pushed some edges. I regret nothing, but there will not be a repeat of Possum Christ. I can promise. So we probably won't be this calendar year, more than likely, but we're going to work with Bob, and we're going to have a dad's game night where we're going to do Everybody is John, because it's 3 or more people, and we'll slot a 2-hour slot so Bob can really flesh out the game. And the people who don't want to play, you're still the audience, and we would love for you to play with it because you'll be suggesting things, and it'll just be a fun, different thing to do. And that's my 2 cents. So that's why I was not about.
All right.
Brought to you by Bob McGee.
Are you Bob McGee? Are you ready for your favorite sub segment?
I did not prepare. I don't know if I have it. I'm a hero without a class. Who even needs skills? All right, this is not an anime. This is just your biography. No, it's not. It's just your biography. It is just the way Joe walks in is like, acts like, I know nothing but bad dad jokes, and next thing you know, he's got the crowd in his hand. That's what that anime is about.
That's true. That's true. So this is an anime where the main character is the son of like the world's best swordsman and the world's best magician. And in this world, when you reach a certain age, you go and you get a class, and that's what determines basically your profession moving forward. And so they're like, oh, you going to get a swordsman class? You're going to get a magician class? What are you going to get? And he gets nothing. He gets no class, which is like
so he became
crazy rare. And so like that's crazy rare. Like everyone gets a class. No one's classless. But all growing up, he had been learning the sword from his mom, who has one of the best swordsman classes. And so he'd been developing his skills, and he's like, okay, well, I may be classless, but I can still be a swordsman because that's what I know. And so he goes to an area of his little town where the kids would gather to practice their sword skills. And so all of these newly classed kids are there, and they're wanting to practice. He's like, okay, well, I'll practice with you. And they're like, you can't practice with us. You don't have a class. Because when you get a class, you gain skills to go with that. And so when you get a swordsman class, you gain a skill that basically gives you basic swordsman skills, just innately. And he's like, I can do this. And he kicks their butt, like just destroys them. Because one of the downsides of skills is predictability. You activate a skill and it does what it does. There is no flexibility.
Okay.
But he also finds out that through hard work, he can replicate skills. So like one of the people that he fights uses this twin slash skill where it sends these ethereal blades in an X at the opponent. And so he practices and practices and practices, and he gets to the point where he can use it. And then he modifies it. Now, instead of just 2 slashes, he does 3 slashes and stuff like that. So he improves upon these skills. And so he learns that he doesn't need a skill to use a skill. He just needs hard work. And so the anime, while pretty predictable and pretty normal, it's all about him wanting to learn and grow through hard work. And it's not a master class in writing or anything like that, but it has been enjoyable. There's a fair bit of humor to it. Like people are like, oh, you're classless, you can't do anything. And then he just beats him up. And so it's just, everyone is constantly underestimating him because he doesn't have a class, but he doesn't play by their rules. And so he can do whatever he wants. He is no longer bound by society's rules. He can do whatever he wants because he's willing to put in the hard work.
Interesting.
John Marsh says continuous improvement. That is very correct.
Nobody invited you here, Bago. You go home. That's a dangerous man right there, because he has known me since I was 14 years old.
before you were the rock god of anything.
I don't know. He might beg to differ. I was a very chaotic gremlin all my life. So
Wait. Was he with you on that trip where you almost got left behind because you took a nap?
Nope. That was Douglas. Douglas Louiser.
Okay. Yeah. So that is Hero Without a Class. Who even needs skills? It's been a good watch so far. It's only about halfway through the season, but it's been a good watch so far.
I got you. We're moving on. Roll the dice. If he wants to tell stories, he needs to get booked with you to come on the show and tell stories.
All right, we got a 2 and a 3, but since we've already done 2, number 3.
How do I?
I will say, Johnny or John, he Mr. Marsh corrupted me for the rest of my life, but that's a story for Patreon.
Okay.
All right. How do I live without you? How do I stay patient when my kids push every button I have? You don't. You send them to their rooms and you scream till the house falls down.
Ah, man. Yeah, my kids lately have been really, really trying my patience. Little Jebediah, especially, he just throws tantrums at the drop of a hat. And so what I've started doing, I'm just like, just go to your room till you're done crying. And what he does is it flips the switch like, oh, I don't want to go to my room. And so he almost always immediately stops crying and stops his tantrum in that moment. But it's just like, kid, come on, take a nap or something, because you're clearly a little on the crazy side. There's just times when you need a break from your kids and let yourself cool down before you fully blow up on them. And sending them to their room or you going to your room sometimes works as well. But what do you do when your kids are just crazy?
So we are different. I tolerate zero crazy. I'm the only one that gets to be crazy in this house. All right, I got enough for everybody.
You've got a monopoly on crazy.
So yeah, tantrums were not never a thing. So sometimes, like Crosby, when she was little, would throw a tantrum, and I'd drag her out of the store, and I'd go sit in the car with her and lecture her, and berate her, and sometimes scream at her. For the most part, I try to talk to them. I try to do things, but I'll make them sit down. Like when it's at that point and they want to be resistant or rebellious or whatever, that's the few times I pull the dad card and that dad voice comes out and I'm very angry. I'm like, sit down. And then I'd lecture and they start talking like, no, you don't talk on this one. You're done. I don't give a crap. I don't say crap. I say something. I say poop. Okay, Bob. I say poop. All right. I don't give a poo-poo about what you got to say right now. And then I break them down psychologically. Here's the BS that you're doing right here. And you know how I know why? Because X, Y, Z, bam, 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 bam. And it's just a barrage that nobody wants. Honestly, it's harder to remember when they were little. Sometimes I would just walk away, but now that they're older teens and Zoe will be a teenager in the spring, and of course Aaron's already like, oh, my baby, it's a teenager. Like, I don't know, it's whatever. She hasn't moved out yet. I don't care. But staying calm is probably very productive and cuts down on the therapy bills. But my tactics have always been swift and harsh. It's I tell you don't do it. I tell you don't do it. You do something dumb, it's done. Swoop in. I've taken case in point, we'll use Crosby again. She lied to us about something, and I made her cancel this trip with her friends. Like, but he's already got airline tickets. That's not my problem. That is not her. Some friend was flying out, to stay here for a few days and visit her. What? You lied. You did this. You did that. I don't care. But nope. And then her behavior got better because I guess I was calm at that point, even though I had to try to be calm. But
It's probably one of those cold fury moments.
And that's my thing. That's why this is a hard question for me. My kids know, even though it probably is still a little damaging, right? If I'm loud, it's fine. Ultimately. I mean, you're going to get in trouble. You're going to have some consequences, but being loud, yelling, that's the vent valve going off. When I get cold and quiet, that's when you regret life, and you really regret your decisions. And it doesn't happen often, but yeah, that's what I do. So Bob, I'm gonna help you out. You wanna be kid of the year, right? Jebby's in the lead. He's still campaigning hard. But the next time old Jebby starts to get whiny or irritated, just tell him the power of the possum compels you. And if your dad laughs, you win kid of the year. Okay? All right. Now, there's a risk. There's a risk to that, sir. Because if your dad or mom doesn't laugh and you make the situation worse, well, you win some, you lose some. And I can't be there for when you lose some because I don't hang out with losers, Bob. I'm sorry. So you got to win. You got to pick the timing right, get him to laugh, get Jimmy to laugh, and we're all winners.
Yeah. But what really resonates with me on some of the stuff you said is when your kid lies to you. Like,
oh, no, they know from early on. Done.
Everyone makes mistakes, but lying is very much a choice. And we told them early on, you're gonna get in trouble. Just because you come to us doesn't mean you're gonna be absolved. Sometimes it's not a big deal, and you think it's a big deal in your head, and it really isn't, and you're not gonna get really in that much trouble. Sure. But if you lie to us, you're gonna get at least twice the punishment. And so we've told them that for years, that if they lie to us, they're getting at least twice the punishment.
Yeah. Bob says I was not listening. Well, I guess you have to go get the download a week from Saturday, so then you're boosting our numbers and you can find out what I told you how you can win. It is a kid by kid moment. It's a day by day moment. It's experiential. Oakland being my first kid and Crosby being the second, they were close together. They got a lot more of angry dad, a lot more of mistakes dad, and harsh dad, and making a big deal out of things that maybe weren't such a big deal. And Riley and Zoe have gotten less of that. But it also, dude, I just make Colts by nature. It helps to have those two older kids like, don't do that. You're gonna regret that one. That dad talks a lot, but that one, you do that one, we ain't got your back. We don't got you at all, man. We don't know you if you do that one. So that helps keep order in the house too. I hate tantrums, man. I think I just blocked them out in my memory other than the one. I'm sure all my kids have thrown tantrums. I'm sure I've reacted. But I told my wife, like, I'll embarrass everybody. I do not care. I will snatch them up, carry them out, and let the world wonder if they're ever going to see that kid alive again.
Well, then.
To the point I had the cops call on me once, but that's another story for another time. Yeah, Crosby was a stubborn one. I know. And so, you know what we should talk about one night is, as you have multiple kids, because we both have multiple kids, I feel like I'm the whole, right? I have all these things, good, bad, and otherwise about me. And I can see like, oh, well, Crosby got the stubbornness, but she also got determination from me. Oakland got the charisma. But also got some just coasting because you can And I'm curious how that breaks down in your family and all that.
Yep.
All right. So roll the dice.
Well, let's go ahead and go to the commercial break without music, because we don't necessarily want to end on a commercial break.
I want to go to Taco Bell. Taco Bell. Taco Bell.
Did I send it? to you, or did you send it to me? I'm not sure if I did. I saw a Facebook reel the other day where it was a rainbow.
Oh, I sent that to you. You
sent it
I
to
sent
me.
you and Tyler in the same text.
Okay. I thought you did. But yeah.
At the end of the rainbow, it's a Taco Bell.
Taco Bell.
Yes, it is, sir.
Oh,
Liquid
man.
gold. And to tease it out, I used to drive a little green Ford Ranger, and Johnny is just slightly smaller than I am. And there's a story I could tell on another show. I don't have the energy. We don't have the time. But there was a night where I made him laugh so hard, we about ran off the road because we were both laughing, and that truck could not handle the two of us laughing as hard as we did. And some others. He needs to come on. Johnny, you need to come on some night and tell stories. That'll be fun. All right.
Yeah, you can tell on him. Now
Patreon.
we do have some speak pipes. We do have a Patreon.
Let's commercialize it real quick. Patreon.com/wise_in_nerdy. You sign up for free. If you pay to be in it, which please and thank you, because we appreciate the support, you get at least 30 minutes before the show and up to 30 minutes after the show of just Patreon content. And sometimes it's an extension of the stories we're telling, but it really is just more of a connection to us in our real lives. We tell a little bit more real life story in there that we don't always bring to the show. Of course, you get to the Discord no matter what.
Well, we do want to warn you.
Somewhat.
Charles does. Yeah, it's a little bit uncensored.
Okay, Phil started that. Devo seconded the motion, and it was carried in the business meeting. You were just on vacation, sir.
At the beach, you were like, "Let's hold this during Joe's annual beach trip."
I want to say you agreed to some of it, but then I took it too far one night. And he's like, "All right, I'll turn it back some." But it's a little bit more raw and real for sure. There's other things coming we're redoing our stuff. But if you sign up for free, a month later, so right now we're recording the show. Patreon gets it Saturday. Podcast gets it a week from Saturday. And then the free patron users get the Patreon version a month later. So you can wait a month and you'll get all of the content, but it's old and it's behind. But we definitely love for you for anybody to join the Daddy-O's and have a place where you can hang out, because we're all just Toys R Us kids who grew up and had kids. We became Joe. You say it.
Our kids are our sidekicks.
There you go.
And
accepted.
And Devo, who we mention often, recently he took your 7-Up yours to heart and upped his.
Yeah, he did.
He upped his a lot, from $5 a month to $25.
Devo's going to make sure we have a good podcast host, is what he's doing. Yeah, that's exactly where that's going. Is to get us a better podcast host than what we have. I will have some merch coming in the new year. The owls should land sometime January. I've got actual enamel owl pins being made.
You got to wait until after the winter when they fly back. But owls aren't migratory.
I vote that we have Kelsey on instead of you next week.
Wow.
Oh, and to that point, next week, instead of recording on Friday, like we talked about, we just did a really good Conjuration recording with Ben Meeks and Bob Magoo and did our live show. And I was going to cram it in anyway, because I'd like to share that with the public, but we're going to release that instead of our other show. And possibly the angel of turkey gobblers will come down and bless the podcast. And I will I'll motivate myself to find the other cons that we've done this year and release all of those this week as a show. So it'll be a live show. No YouTube, no face. Well, yeah, I could post them on YouTube if I have. No, we don't have video. It's all audio stuff. The videos didn't record well, but we'll see.
You can always just put our logo on there and slap it on there for a video.
And Bob votes kids instead, only if it's me and the three troublemakers. No
My
daddy,
three
no mama.
troublemakers?
Drunk uncle, wise and nerdy
Oh,
with the
no.
Three Stooges.
Oh no.
Veggie Tales makes ketchup. All right. What?
What?
I don't know. I'm tired, man.
Anyway,
What's next? What do you got?
so if you wanna get your voice on here, wisenerdy.com/calldad, and our December 11th recording, the question of the week will be, which fictional character would make the best podcast guest and why?
That's gonna be a hard one.
Yep.
That's gonna be a tough one.
Yep.
We're gonna have to boot since I talked you into not doing a show Friday. We're gonna have to boot our questions back a show.
No, we're just gonna skip the one that was gonna be so the one that we're gonna skip from the Thanksgiving one is, what is one thing you are especially thankful for this year?
Gotcha.
So we're gonna skip that one. No one has called in for it, so we're good.
There's a Deadpool. John said
Oh,
Deadpool. So
Deadpool is the best guest. And here I thought you were talking about the portal cube, your friendship cube.
The portal cube doesn't talk. However, GLaDOS would be an amazing guy. All right, Bob. Here's the deal. You have to get your dad on board, which means and so does I have to get on board too. But for Father's Day, Wise and Nerdy, I'm willing to bring on Ryland and Zoe, and the three of you can come on for a few minutes. Because we know you guys, it's going to get chaotic. We'll give you some time on the show, but that gives you time. You've got to plan it out. You got to know what you're going to bring to the table. What you get 2 or 3 questions, maybe a nerding out. Maybe you come in for a nerding out section. But we're down for some. You know what? It'll be Sonny tell me a story, or Kiddo tell me a story, and you get to tell your favorite story about your dad. We'll do that. That'd be fun.
Yep.
All right, do we have any speaker pipes?
Oh, yes, we have several from Devo. So a few weeks back, you talked about too many losing heroines.
Yes.
And apparently Devo wanted to comment on that.
So I'm listening to the latest episode on Patreon. And Charles, you started talking about too many losing heroines, a show like Seinfeld. And you went on to describe it in detail. And it sounded really interesting. That it really sounds more like Saved by the Bell. So
okay. All right, yeah.
Saying that it is, I haven't watched it, but your description sounds like Saved by the Bell. Just saying, no judgment. Saved by the Bell.
Good catch. I was trying to struggle with that lighthearted, just interaction that means not a whole lot. So yeah, no, Saved by the Bell is a good analogy. I don't know why you had to say it 3 times. I feel like you cast a spell on me there, but okay.
This next one, apparently he's doing a follow-up on the dog vomit story, making his daughter clean it up.
Oh, okay.
Hiya, folks. I feel like I need to clarify a few things from my Am I the Butt face. So 1, why I put it in her sink. 1, I wanted to get off the floor and out of the hallway, clean up a bit. Fair. And the second is to keep her from using her sink and force her to deal with it. The second, the birthday cake statement, that was my son. I don't know where he came up with that. I think it was just in a response to my package comment. My response to him was sarcastic, so that was not mine at all. Sure. And then the third is when I said I swiped at her, it was more of a jest to mess with her. I'm not into trying to torture my children. That wouldn't be my stuff. But I am not above giving them a little bit of grief.
Look who's trying not to get canceled by DFAX.
And then let's see, we've got a couple more from Devo. This one is titled Haunted Lincoln on Facebook Marketplace.
Okay.
Or I want you to think about it while I read you something on Facebook Marketplace. Take it. Free test drive. Take it. It's a free car. Listen to this. This 2005 Lincoln used to be my mother's, and my parents moved to another state and gave it to me. We think it's haunted after my mother spilled her mother's ashes in the back seat after Grandma's funeral.
Oh no!
It's working and has a clean title. Grandma isn't mean, but she only likes the radio to play Elvis.
How much is it?
It's free.
Free?
Yes.
Oh, sign me up.
Wait, hold on. Wait, at the bare minimum, sell those parts.
No.
Grandma's
I have
parts.
tours of it. Tour my haunted Lincoln. I can make some. I can make some bank off of that.
And there's maybe the ashes in the back. There's the trash.
Oh, I would never vacuum it. gotta keep Grandma happy.
Oh, and the radio shows only Elvis. No, I did a screenshot.
Did you say take it?
It's free.
Yeah, take it, free test drive.
Yeah, take it free test drive.
Are you actually thinking
Yeah.
of taking that?
Yeah, man.
Well, we could tell Ruby we picked up.
We picked a car for her.
It does say $5,000.
Yeah, see, that's
It's a free test drive. I hate Facebook Marketplace. It's so stupid.
Well, no, hold on. The car is free. Grandma's ashes are $5,000.
I think it might be illegal to buy someone's ashes. I suspect.
Not if you don't report it to the government. That's fine.
That's not how laws work.
And hey, everybody that's here on Tuesday of next week in the U.S. is Thanksgiving, and would love to hear from Dead Baby Turtle as well. And anybody else outside the country, just what you're grateful for, like when it's not just, oh, I want to be thankful for this. It's very much deeper than that for me, because I hate themes. So if I'm going to do themes, I'm going to do it my way. And the theme of it is,
that's like Burger King's theme. Having it your way.
Taco Bell. When you're feeling down, like the world's getting you down, you're in a dark place, but what's the gratitude things that you do to get you out of that spot? So the things I'm grateful for, and it could be a mantra, it could be I'm grateful for my family, whatever. Mine is some version of identifying the problem and being grateful for the lesson I'm going to learn from it. And we're going to talk more in depth on that. Or, so you can answer that, or you could answer when somebody's grateful, what type of gratitude really makes you feel like you've been seen. Like, I have people tell me all the time, thank you for things, right? So you drop off a patient, thank you. It's just polite. That's not true. I mean, yes, they're grateful, but what true gratitude when somebody does something makes you go, oh, I did something, and they really do mean they're grateful for it.
Yeah, specific gratefulness rather than generic.
Yeah, what lights your fire there? So we've been borrowing the Call Dad line for that for Be Awesome Together. That's coming up Tuesday. So if you would like to call in your answers to that, we'll play them on Tuesday on Be Awesome Together.
Which you do have at least one sitting in there. I saw it.
Devo said that he had called in one, so which made me think of asking for more here.
All right, we've got one more from Devo. It's titled Scientific Young Boys.
There was a farmer that had a bus stop near his farm, and kids kept getting inside of the fencing where his animals were. And so he put an electrical wire all across the fence. So if you touch the fence, it would shock you. And parents were like, oh my God, like, you shouldn't do that. That's not safe. Like the kids. And he's like, the kids shouldn't be touching the fence in the first place, let alone going inside.
Your dad's got a story about that.
Touching
electrical fences.
Yeah.
Being a dumbass.
There's a horse pasture up from my cousin's house. And all I had was a single electric fence around it. Nothing else. There are these horses in there. And so what do my cousins and I do? Go up. What do? You touch the electric fence. Of course, you jump. So then we decided, well, how many people could it go through? So we all held hands, and then one of us touched it with a piece of grass. And our experiment, we discovered that you could feel it up to, I think it was 4 people through. The 5th and 6th did not feel it. Yes.
Okay, listen.
We are very
Move on.
scientific young men.
Grass, is it very conductive?
Apparently conductive
At
enough.
all? That was weird.
Humans
So-
are surprisingly conductive when it comes to
The
electricity.
problem with humans is the resistance. That's why we die. Is all the resistance we have. This dumb dude named Jeff down in South Georgia. John may have been there for this. I don't remember. Same thing. Is our friend Brad the Blind. I think you've met Brad. It was his dad's farm or his granddad's farm or something. And he's like, yeah, don't touch the fence. Da, da, da. And Jeff's like, oh, really? He touched it. And he's like, ow, who threw a rock at me? And we're like, what are you talking about? Like, somebody threw a rock and hit my leg. We're like, no, that was electricity going through your body, dummy. And he just would not. He swore up and down when we threw a rock at him. And because it didn't hit him in the hand like he thought it would. It hit him where it exited, which was his calf, more or less.
Yeah, one of the most surprising lessons I had in my chemistry class was learning that distilled water doesn't conduct electricity.
Because it doesn't have the sodium and stuff in it, right?
Yeah, well, you need the other components to make it conduct electricity, and so yeah, that flabbergasted me because you just grow up, water plus electricity is bad. No, it's the contaminants that make it bad.
Yeah, it's minerals. I mean, well, yeah, whatever, sure. All right, so I did Google it. Is grass conductive? Because I'm like, this story smells fishy. Yes, grass can conduct electricity, especially when wet, because it contains water and minerals that facilitate the flow of electrical current. While not as conductive as metal, grass is better conductor than dry soil. It can serve as a grounding path.
Yep.
For science!
For science! All right. Well, we've got one final item of business. And it is this I think was brought by you, but it is the
Parliament of Papas.
I don't think this is going to be too long, but it definitely fits my salty attitude tonight. Promposals, yay or nay? Nay. Stupid. They are just above in smartness. They're just above gender reveal parties. Gender reveal parties are stupid. Oh my God. High school is one of the worst times of kids' lives because we put them into a concrete zoo with other teenagers who don't know how to figure out their own ups and downs in life and their emotions and the chemistry in their body and everything else. And then we put a stupid dance that means nothing on top of that to then put all this pressure of going all out, making the proposal. That's just even worse. But, it's not just a, hey, I'm speaking as Joe. Hey, Kelsey, will you go to the prom with me? It's that takes enough. That takes a lot of work. But to do all the stupid posters and this and that, the other, why?
Johnny says negative Ghost Rider. Definitely agree. It's dumb.
Yeah. It's so dumb. And what's the dumbest one you've seen, Joe? I know you think it's dumb. What's the dumbest one you've seen?
I don't know. I usually just keep scrolling because they're dumb. So I just just no, it's not for me.
Oddly enough, as over the top I am with everything else and the showman that I am with everything else, when it comes to the most private moments like asking my wife to marry me or those nobody knew it was coming, no show, just a quiet moment, done. Right? That's I'm the inverse of that when it comes to the most personal parts of my life. So I just cannot comprehend. I've asked girls on dates. I've asked girls to dances. That's hard enough. I cannot imagine doing magic tricks and stunts and posters. The worst ones are when they do the whole big deal and show up at the girl's work, and the girl's like, "No, and why are you coming to my work?" And of course now everything is filmed. It's like,
yeah. Well, and I know we're talking about promposals, but there's, what is it, Smosh? I think the main host there says about wedding proposals that the fact that the proposal is happening should never be a surprise. The actual proposal itself could be, but the fact that they're going to ask should never be a surprise. And I think that is very wise, and I think that's probably how kids should be treating promposals as well. If you're going to go to that degree, they should expect that you're going to be asking, and you should have a reasonable expectation that it will be a yes, unless you're just trying to make a video of you getting embarrassed and destroyed. Yeah, like it's just like, yeah.
And then it's so expensive. I mean, they charge for these things now. And it's like, can we not? We don't need awkward teenagers, and they're beyond awkward. 99% of them think they're the scum of the earth, and they have emotional problems and mental health issues because they don't understand how to see themselves as human beings, because that's not what we're teaching them at all in life and at school. Can we just not even do the dance? Because I'll tell you, from Beverly Hills 90210 and other shows I should not have watched in the 90s, all I know prom to be is either just you're not dancing much and you're hanging out, or that's where everybody breaks up because they're about to go off to college, or you're getting somebody pregnant. And none of those are good. Not at that age. None of those are good. And here's some more get off my lawn moments. Why high school reunions? Why? Such dumb. Who gives a crap what happened 30 years ago? I know plenty of people who love them. I don't get it. I don't get it.
I was planning on going to one of mine, but that year it ended up being canceled, and so I was like, I graduated in Pennsylvania. I ended up going up to Pennsylvania anyway just to visit my family that's up there. So I was kind of going to turn it into a twofer, where I went up to visit family, but then also happened to be the weekend of my high school reunion. I was like, okay, I can spend a night seeing people that I knew in high school, but I still went up and visited family anyway. So,
sure.
But yeah.
I mean, Bobby Blackwolf left panel early to go to his. People love him. I don't get it. Are you so, Bobby? If you watch this, I love you, man. And maybe you could actually give me a real answer. But now is Rock God on the show still salty? So I'm going to take it to the nth degree a little bit. Are you so stuck in your history that you either want to rub your success in people's faces? Because I've known John Marsh since my high school days, pre-high school, really. And we talked to each other some, still think the world of each other. He came to my house like once a few years ago. I was at his wedding. But it's life moves on. Either you move with it. I just don't get it.
Yeah. Yeah. There's very few people that I've kept up with from back then anyway. Like there's one person that, I still reach out and say like happy birthday and stuff like that. And, I'll see Facebook posts and whatnot. So I've kept up with their life, but that's about it.
And if Marsh wants to friend me on TikTok, I'll send him some crazy TikToks.
He's got plenty of them.
I do. Oh, you don't even know the half of it. Now, I will say this, in the vein of proposals, weddings, all that, John Marsh ruined all that for me. Because I don't know about his proposal, but I know that fool had a wedding on the beach where he's saying, "I'll be" to his bride in perfect pitch. I'm like, screw you, man. None of us can do that. That is just a hard expectation to give, sir. I hate you very much. So we're going to turn the car around and go home.
But it's all right, because I'm saved by the bell.
Follow these nerdy dads on social media. Charles at Rock God of Podcasting. Joe at Joseph_Ard. Check out the website, wiseandnerdy.com. And as always, they may not be your father, but they'll always be your daddy.
Shut up, Mike.
Shut the hell up.